Good evening, morning to some of you guys. I want to welcome you guys to Leverage TV, where making business relative is our objective. We want to make sure that we can simplify business principles, business concepts, business ideas for upcoming entrepreneurs, even entrepreneurs who are already settled in the industry or whatever industry right now. Today, we will be talking about one of the characteristics of a successful entrepreneur, which is self-starter. Um, I am not exactly sure where to start with this introduction, right? Um, I can assure you all, right? Hold on. Let me just bring her up real quick while I do. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I do apologize. All right. So I'm not exactly sure where to start with this introduction. I can assure you that we are about to hear from a distinguished talent and voice. Her penmanship has written her into many rooms and will continue to do so. She has appeared on shows like Fox Sports, Citywide, iHeartRadio, and more. She is an established author. She has written 10 books, just to drop a few: A Praying Wife in Waiting, the anthology. She has also done Eve's mixtape and Eve's Confession, a song of a lustful soul, and more. This entrepreneur is the owner of Ebony Nicole Smith LLC, a publishing company, right? Um, the co-founder of Black Authors Association in Rochester. She's a part of a plethora of organizations. She sits on various boards. Um, Most important, she uses her gift to transform aspiring authors into published authors. I want to say that one more time. She uses her gift to transform aspiring authors into published authors. If I continue to go on about her accomplishment, it would take up the whole segment, right? Um, so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you, and I'm pleased to welcome Ebony Nicole Smith to Leverage TV.
Hi.
Ebony.
Oh, this is all so awesome. It's such an honor. Okay, let me tell you what I was doing. I was recording while you were doing that intro. I was like, well, I love somebody. I didn't want that. Sometimes you don't sit back and look at what you've done. You just do it. You're happy
Mhm.
for it and you keep on moving. But when you got to put that bio together, a short bio, it's like, yeah, I did a lot. So
You
to hear you read
have.
it, it's an honor. I'm thankful.
No, I'm like, she probably gonna kill me because there's so much
Yeah.
that you have done as a business owner and a writer that I think is like literally phenomenal. I was just reading through the bio and I was like, "Ah," and then I started seeing all this information. I said, Lord, how am I going to take all of this and compile it, right? And so I want to thank you for coming on. Hey, Ebony,
Yeah.
I want to play a game. Are you game for a game?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. So I'm going to state a phrase and I'm going to
Okay.
need you to complete it. I'm going to ask that you complete it, right?
All
All
right.
right. So the first phrase is time is of the
Essence.
essence, right? Why is time of the essence?
Because you have a lot of it, but it goes by really quickly.
Mm,
So we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but
right.
we sleep. Some of us get anywhere from, my best friend sleeps maybe 3 hours a day and
Wow.
he runs off of that. I'm like, whoo, child, he does it. He does it. I don't know how, but he does. So if we got in those 24 hours, we sleep. We're unproductive when we sleep. We dream, God gives us things, but we're unproductive when we sleep. We're
Hmm.
unproductive when we're driving, most as we should be, because we shouldn't be talking on cell phones or anything like that. But we're unproductive there. We're unproductive when we're eating, unless it's a business meeting. Then you are semi-productive there.
Semi-productive, right.
And then there's so many hours in the day that we have that we are
Mm,
not doing anything productive. And so I say
wow.
it's time in the essence, because before you know it, the day is gone. And if you are
Right.
like me, you have a checklist. And I love checklists. I just see if I got 10 things and I accomplish 6 of them, I'm good. But then those
Right.
other 4 just reminds me I ran out of time. And
Gotcha.
you never know when you're gonna run out of time.
You never know. I remember when I was in college, um, we went to go see I was in college and we went to this big accounting firm, and they brought in this guy who's a partner from Philly,
Mm.
and he said something so powerful. He said this. He said, "Time is not against you, but it's not your enemy."
Yep.
Or yeah, time is not against you, and it's not your friend or not your enemy in somewhat of that sense. And so what you do with time is important in how you move about with time. And I love the
Absolutely.
way that you went into it. So I have another piece to this game that I'm gonna
Yes.
need you to answer. Okay. Ready, set.
Ooh, immediately I want to say go.
Yes, that is it.
Immediately I want to say go, but for some reason I
It's
don't want to
go.
say go. I don't know why go
You don't
just was
want to
like,
say
oh
go.
no, why go?
It's go.
I know it's ready, set, go, but I didn't want to say go.
You didn't want to say go.
No.
Why?
I
Why do
felt
you?
like it was ready, set. I don't know if this just the church girl or the kingdom woman in me. Ready, set, wait.
Ready, set, wait.
Here's the why to
Give
that.
me yes, thank you.
Because I think this might be the kingdom woman in me.
Go
It
ahead.
was just like ready, set, wait.
Mm,
Because sometimes we could be ready, we could be set, but we forgot some steps.
okay,
Or we didn't even pray about it first. And then we're gonna go and find ourselves in a world of trouble.
this is
So
true.
but for the sake of context, ready, set, go. But
No,
that
but I
go,
like that.
a little
Can we do
asterisk to
can
that.
we do ready, set, wait, go?
Yes.
Can we add that to the narrative? Because I think like you have to be ready.
Yeah.
You have to be set to go. But sometimes there's that period of waiting that you have to have
Yes.
before you move on to the next step,
Yeah.
which is go. Go is
Yeah.
like take off,
Yep.
you know. So I like that. I want to add that to it. So we're gonna do ready, set, wait,
Wait. Go.
go. Right. And so as an entrepreneur, well, we kind of so as an entrepreneur, right? As an entrepreneur, a coach, a publisher, and I mean, yeah, an entrepreneur. What does these phrases mean to you in total? Like a total sum. Like how would you take it and put it all together
Ready, set, wait, go. I would say it would be plan, prepare, and execute.
and execute?
Plan, prepare, execute. And for me, it's like I liken it to like when you prepare for a trip.
Hmm.
You don't wake up that morning. Well, for the most part, the average person don't wake up that morning and decide, I'm going to take a flight to Rome and pack their bag and go.
That's
Well,
true.
for not yet, we're not there yet. Okay, but for when you plan, you got to set everything in order before you even leave. You're
Mm,
planning to go. You plan what hotel, flights, rental cars, all those things. You plan your excursion. Then you prepare. You prepare by if you are employed, well, as entrepreneurs, but if you are on a 9 to 5, you gotta let your employer know. So you gotta prepare for that. If you have children, you
that's
gotta
true.
prepare them. Are they going with you or are they staying with grandma and grandpa? You gotta
Mm,
prepare your finances. You gotta prepare your home. You have to prepare to then execute what you planned. And so sometimes there's that waiting. You're ready to go.
right.
Everything is all set. The house is set. You let your neighbors and family know I'm going to be gone from this time. Keep an eye on the house. Everything is set. You're wait. Now you got to wait for that day to come. But while
Right.
that day is coming, you can look over everything you planned and prepared to make sure you have not missed anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you execute everything you planned and prepared for. And that's your goal.
And
Because
that's the
that's how I
goal.
feel like if you are waiting, if you got that period of waiting, you can make
Mm-hmm.
sure, is there any, as an entrepreneur, while you're waiting for yourself to be launched, what courses can I take, maybe for free or even an investment wise? What can I do to give me more knowledge, so when I am launched, when I do open this business, when I do introduce this product, how can I set myself as a thought leader? How can I set
Right.
myself as the one that people should seek after for my knowledge and pay me accordingly as well? So that is how I would view it, as plan, prepare, execute.
Plan, prepare, execute. And so, as an author, well, let me take a step back. Plan, prepare, and execute. I want to get back to that really, really quick. But okay, no. Prepare. So, how did that work out for you as an author? In terms of how can I say? In terms of getting your first book out.
Oh, I didn't know about plan, prepare, execute. I didn't realize
Mm,
that until I didn't apply that until I became an entrepreneur.
wow.
Until I had to take that step to be a full-time entrepreneur. I had to plan for that, prepare and to execute what I had planned for, execute the know-hows of how to be effective in this journey. That's when I had to step forward. But as far as being an author, becoming an author for me was literally just dropped on my lap. I was in a
Mm,
situationship and I wanted more from him, and he did not want more from me. He just wanted us to be where we were, and I became frustrated. And then one night, I was on my way home from leaving his house, and this idea for my story dropped in. The very first chapter of my
wow.
book dropped in my head, and it was of the wife Eve coming home to find her husband, whom she had texted earlier in the day and said, "Hey, I had a rough day at work. Please make sure the kids are fed, bathed, and possibly in bed when I get home, because I just want to relax with you. I need some husband attention." Unfortunately, he didn't get her message. So he was, when she arrived, ready to have a one-on-one session with her husband to relax from the day. He was playing with
Right.
their children. I mean, he was being a father, and it angered her because she wanted and needed that time with him, and she wanted more, but he wasn't. In that instance, he wasn't able to give her what she needed, and it frustrated her. And that's when my book came along. Just me being in a situationship and an idea popping up in my head.
Oh
So I
wow.
didn't
And
prepare, plan, or execute anything. It was just write it until I thought I was done, and I did.
so when did you get to the stages where you felt like, okay, so you wrote it
Yeah.
and it was done, right? When
Mhm.
did you get to the place where now you're planning, prepare, and execute?
That would be in 2017. I had started my business a year prior, 2016. And I said to God, like, I want to do this full time. I said, but
Mm-hmm.
these are the things that I want to occur before I launch and be this full time entrepreneur. I said, I want to pay off my car, I want to pay off my debt, and I want to save $25,000. I did
Okay.
those things, and your
Wow.
girl was surprised. So I paid off my car in 2018. I paid it off
Mm-hmm.
4 months early because I was working a lot of overtime. Let me tell you, I knew I wanted to do this full time. So I
Right.
really hammered down on that, right? So I paid off all my debt. I had student loans. My car note was part of that debt as well. It was about $22,000 in debt altogether. But again, I was a single woman, no children, so I was able to put my money where I wanted it to
Let's
go.
go.
Okay. So that's why I was able to pay off all my debt and have those additional responsibilities. So I paid off all my debt, saved up 25,000, paid off the car, and in 2019, God said, "Go forth and do what you please." And
Wow.
I went out. I went out. But let me tell you this: that was my planning, my preparing, and my execution. I
Mhm.
did it all well. I was good. Okay.
Right.
Because within that 25,000, I also had a separate account where I saved 7 months. No, I'm sorry, it was 8 months. 8 months worth of my financial responsibilities. I had learned
Wow.
that from Susie Orman. I used to watch her a lot, and she said,
Okay.
always make sure you have an emergency fund. So I saved 8 months of an emergency fund along with the 25,000 and paying off all my debt, and including my car. But I panicked. I panicked
Wow.
when that 6 month hit, and I'm like, because I didn't want to touch the 25,000. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God. So instead of me hunkering down and going to God and saying, hey, what do I do? We got 2 more months left in our emergency fund. I went right to work. I went back to work, and I set
Oh, wow.
myself back. That was in 2019, late November 2019. I went back to work. And in April 2021, God said, you're done. You're not working you're done. And
Wow.
I'm back out here again.
You
And then
back out here again.
now, let me tell you the beautiful thing about it, a beautiful, scary thing about it, a beautiful scare. And I call it a beautiful scare because it was beautiful because God said it, and it was scary because I wasn't prepared for it. This time around, there was no planning, preparing, executing. It
Mhm.
was trusting, believing, obeying. That was it.
Okay.
Trust, believe, and obeying. Trust God, believe what He said, and obey what He said. And
Right.
I just had to leave the job. So there was no plan to prepare and executing the second time around. That's why it was scary.
That's why it's scary,
Mhm.
right? I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can.
it was very scary. But now it's like, whew, we out here over a year, Lord. Whew, you
But he's
kept your
doing it.
promise, Lord. So
What he's doing is he's doing it, right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I kind of get a little gist of like some of the obstacles that you had to face. But if you're talking to an entrepreneur, right, or you're talking to your clients, how are you dealing with them in terms of going? What I've seen in your bio, you quoted, you said, from an inspiring author to a published author.
Mhm.
So, like, how are you like assisting them in doing that, to helping them to be self starters in somewhat of a sense?
Oh, that's a great question. The way I help them is by determining if they are truly ready for this trek.
Hmm.
And the way I do that is by asking them specific questions and listening to their answers. I can hear the hesitation. I can hear I don't know how I hear it besides hearing, but there's additional hearing that I hear. I can't explain it. But I
Right.
can hear when they just like the ideal of becoming an author, but not ready to put in the work. It's like
Mm.
I don't want to offend anybody either, but it's like a tone of laziness, and I could hear it. It's like
Right.
I'm excited to write a book, but there's just something that I hear that lets me know they aren't really ready. And I used to ignore it, and when I ignored it, it got me into a lot of trouble because then I would bring on all these clients, and then halfway, not even halfway through, like a quarter of the way through, they would stop working. And then I'm in a position to pull and trying to, it's like leading a horse to water to make, trying to make them drink and they're
Right.
not. But here I am, the writing coach, trying to make them write and they're not. And so it became
Mm.
frustrating and more of it. What I do no longer was no longer fun to me, but it became a burden. It became a burden. And so I had to listen more effectively and then offer them an alternative to working
Mm.
with me uh, in this state of I'm excited to do it, but I'm not really ready to do it. So
Right.
there is it's a space there. So
Right.
it's the opportunity. I had the opportunity to create a writing course and say, hey, you need this course instead of me because this course is self-paced. You can do this because with me, I'm gonna apply pressure, a lot of it.
Right.
And some people can't handle the pressure, and so they crack. Literally, like, coach, I can't do this. I got too much going on. Blah blah blah. Okay, so I tell, hey, do this, and when your first draft is done, when you got that last I dotted, last T cross, last exclamation point, or last period done, then you contact me and we'll talk about publishing your book. So to get them from aspiring to author, there are different avenues, but I learned to listen effectively so that I can make sure I send them down the right path. But
One,
each
I
path
think,
leads right back to me.
yeah, I think that's an actual great idea because it kind
Yeah.
of relinquish you from waiting for them and
Yeah.
applying, like you said, a lot of pressure to get
Mhm.
the the job done.
Yeah.
Um, how do you know when someone is ready, though?
That's a I could tell when someone is ready because they're excited, but they're more calm than anything. And
Hmm.
there's no hesitation. There's no I would talk to them. There's nothing in their way hindering them to get their book done. You can tell that they are on a mission and they're going to complete it. It's hearing and I say that all the time. It's like it's just a different hearing. It's deeper hearing, and I could
Deeper
tell.
in.
Okay, you're ready. And ever since I started listening and more effectively and moving, people down a path to helping them become a published author, whether it's through the writing course or straight to working with me, I've never not been wrong. I've
Mm.
always been right. And it's just it's just a beautiful thing. But it just comes with hearing your clients and knowing what it's like to work with people who aren't truly ready, but just like the ideal of being ready.
Of being ready.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Knowing who is ready and
Yeah.
like and who like the idea
Hmm.
of being ready. And so the reason why I asked you about that in particular, because I think that as entrepreneurs, there are a lot of people out there with business ideas and concepts that they want to get off the ground,
Yeah.
but they don't do the work for it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that in order for anything to actually come about is that you have to be a self-starter. Like you have to have
Absolutely.
it in you to want to get it done. And like I've been wanting to do this YouTube channel for several years, right? Several years. And like last year I started mapping out episodes,
Yeah.
right? And we're in what? We're in a we're in 2022 now,
Hmm.
right? Um doing these episodes, and I was able to get like 3 completed. But I think that like you're saying, like you have to, like there's a calmness, like you were saying about it, when self-starting. And so when you decided to start your business,
Hmm.
right? Um what was the inspiration, um and what are some steps that you took as a self-starter to get it done?
So those are two great questions. Far as the inspiration came from my pastor, Bishop Roderick L. Hennings, and
Mhm.
he asked me to help him with his book. I had just published my first book, and then he was like, "Well, can you help me?" I said,
Wow.
"Absolutely." I was honored, like very, very excited. So he asked me to. Had a little part in his publishing of his book, but it was big to me. This is the
Mhm.
first time I helped someone else. So I had taken 4 of his CDs and transcribed them. Now, it sounds easy, but it had taken me 3 months to do them. And if you know pastors, right? Well, you know pastors. They'll be talking, they'll be on their line, they're going along, talking about the sermon and, exegesis this and, they're doing all these things. And then they go off on a tangent. Then they come
Yeah.
right, then they go off again, like come right back. So I had to weed out all those go out on a tangent comebacks. I had to take all that out to get the meat of what he was saying, and
Dang.
that's what I did. And then he already had a publisher, so once I was done with the transcription, I gave it to him, and he passed it on to his publisher. And then later that year, they published his first book called "It's a Matter of Dominion." So
Wow.
that was my inspiration was people really do need help getting their books done. And so I was like, oh my God. And my heart originally started
Mm-hmm.
was to work with clergy because I
Mm.
think clergy have techniques in I call it a soft introduction to Jesus. Because if
Okay.
you walk up onto somebody who does not know him, you can't tell them, well, in John 16, Jesus asks, do you believe? And John,
Right.
who's John? And why
Okay.
is he 16? And why are you asking me to, like, you can't do that. So I believe that clergy, I named my business before it became Ebony Nicole Smith Consulting, it was exclusively for clergy, the number 4, exclusively for clergy, because that's who I was exclusively working with. That's who I wanted
Okay.
to publish. Um, but then as the business grew, you know, I the business grew, the name changed, and I just help other faith-based men and women. But my heart has always been for clergy, and that's why I think I need to head back. I really do believe I need to head back to them. And then the second part of your question is, how do you become a self-starter, or how did
Mm-hmm.
I become a self-starter?
Yeah.
Um, it was just literally knowing what I wanted to do, who I wanted to work with, but I had a business coach. And I would
Mm.
recommend any and everyone, if you do not know how to start, get a business coach. Get someone who
Okay.
has a proven track record that can show you how to do this thing. And a business
Mm-hmm.
coach is not starting your business is more than a logo, a slogan, colors, and those things matter. But
Right.
what matters more is knowing who your ideal client or customers are, because it's not everybody.
It's not.
Niching them down as much as you can, but then expanding if you need to. um a business plan is a great starter for any business. Even if you My first business plan was 6 pages long. Now it's at 12. And then once I did with that 12 page is I broke it down to a 1 year business plan, and I
Right.
focused
Right.
on that for the year, and I'm accomplishing those things that's all I want to do for the year. I got the bigger picture, but a quarter of that picture, this is all I want to focus on. And so that is very helpful, because sometimes we have this huge vision and it can be frightening. But if you
Yes.
take a piece of that vision and work on it, it's like a puzzle. You can see
Mm-hmm.
what it should be, but you got thousands of pieces here. But if you take one corner at a time, next thing you know, you have the whole puzzle. So
Right.
that's how I see it. But for me, it was start getting a business coach, and she really helped the girl out, because I had no idea. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get started. And so
Got it.
um, that's what I would say for me was getting a business coach
Mhm.
is what helped me start.
Yeah, I think that a business coach would be very resourceful,
Yeah.
and also I guess in the aspects of making sure that you're accountable,
Yes.
holding you to accountability to get things done, um, and providing you with um, the essentials about what a business needs. Like you're
Yeah.
saying, it goes more in detail about, look, who's your target audience?
Mm-hmm.
What message are you trying to communicate? Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people just pop up with, and some people, they have like amazing products, but there's nothing to defend the product to
Yeah.
to make people want to go out and buy it, other than you
Yeah.
saying I got a product. But like, you got to know who you are catering to. I was talking in my previous interview, and he said, we were talking about it. He was like, look, you don't have to saturate the market,
Yeah.
right? He said you need to find your audience, basically, is
That's
what he
it.
was saying, because everybody ain't for you. Everybody's not going to purchase your
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yep.
You may not be the person that they want, the go-to person that they want to use. Matter of fact, you probably did services for them prior, but maybe they don't want to stay consistent with you because they may
Yeah.
want a different type of person. It doesn't speak to the quality of your service that you're offering. Is that they just don't fit your brand or fit your niche, or they feel, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But there is a market out there for you, you know. And so I think that is like really, really important that you mentioned that. I just wanted to add a little
Yeah,
to
you
to
got to
what you were saying.
know. You got to know who you're going after, because even as a writing coach, I know everyone is not my client. I can get people on my line. That's no problem. But I could tell you're not my you're not meant for me. And I'm okay with that. And that's where networking comes in, because now I
Mhm.
have a solid network of other publishers. And I would tell the person, I don't think we're a good fit. However, and I tell them why I don't think we're a good fit, so they won't just be thinking like, well, she don't like me. No, it's not that. Here's why we will not fit together. But I have a network of other publishers that I can toss your name to them and see who's able to take you on as a client. And that's what I do. So I
Mhm.
don't mind. There's thousands of writing coaches and publishers out there. I'm just a small drop in the bucket, but yet my marketing attracts those who need to be attracted, and they become my client accordingly. So yeah, I
Right.
don't like people say, oh, everybody's writing a book. Yeah, but you haven't written one, so why does it matter
Right.
what everybody else is doing?
Because the way you communicate may be the way that they need to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why this show is so important, because I know that Ebony Nicole is going to reach those, one, who wants to write books, and then two, who wants to be an entrepreneur, self-starter.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? The goal is that we communicate. We're going to make business concepts and ideas relative so that people can understand business, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that what you're saying is important, because you know, you may not be servicing a certain group of people, but this is
Hmm.
your group.
Hmm.
And I think being able to sort that out, you know, is important as an aspiring business owner, aspiring author. And so I wanted to ask you another question.
I just want, while you think of a
Go
question, I
ahead.
just want to say this. As a self starter, it literally means you sometimes, a lot of times, you got to get up before your alarm.
Hmm.
It means when you don't want to, there's a part of you that says we have no choice because the mortgage is due.
Right.
Being a self starter is encouraging yourself to push forward even when you get setbacks. Being a self-starter means to really hunker down on your goals and objectives and going towards them for them no matter what. Being a full-time entrepreneur is different from my friends who have 9 to 5s and they are
Right.
also entrepreneurs. The two are not the same, because my
Mm.
friends that are, and I'm not, they know I've talked to them about this many times, so
Oh,
they're
I'm a
fine.
9 to 5 too, but keep
Yeah,
going.
a 9 to 5,
It's
you
okay.
have that. It's that security, that security of a check.
Hmm.
Whereas you like, you know what, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off from the business. Well, you got a job you can go to that's gonna pay you to be
Yeah.
there for those 2 weeks that you decide not to do your business. Whereas a full-time entrepreneur, yes, right now I'm not at the position where I could take straight 2 weeks off. I know one lady, her name is Andrea Richmond. She's a
Hmm.
phenomenal marketer. She takes every July off with her family. And her business is structured, is so sustained that she could take a month off and not miss a beat. Not miss a beat.
Wow.
And so that's why I look at other entrepreneurs and I'm like, I need to follow her, purchase her courses, do what this woman says so that I can be where she is. And
Because
I
she has
think
something.
because she has accomplished it. She's accomplished it. So being a self-starter is looking at people who are ahead of you and
Yeah.
not looking at them as competition in a negative way, but as
Mhm,
somebody you can learn from. Being a self-starter is going out there and getting the knowledge you need to be better in your field, even if that
mhm,
means hiring someone, again, taking courses, reading books, whatever it is that you need, hiring a coach, all these different things to help you become a better person in your arena, so that you can attract those who you need to attract and gain, obtain, and eventually live the lifestyle that you're looking for. And I say this, getting up before my alarm. Oh, I used to get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock,
right.
and that because I had to go to work. at 8 o'clock. I had to be to work at 8 o'clock. So I had to get up early and prepare my day and go to work. Now I get up between 7 and 7:30. It's just 7:30. I just get up, and then I had a conversation with my cousin last night. She was like, "So what do you do when you're up?" I start my day. I pray. I get my word. I open up my window blinds, and I get started on my day, whatever it is I need to do. And that's me being a self-starter, because I don't have the luxury of laying in bed all day. Hence why we are up, doing what we have to do. It just have to.
There's a different type of freedom that you have when you are full entrepreneur, when you're a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. And so but also within that time. And so let me go back. When I say that there's a different freedom, it's different from getting up and working for somebody than working for yourself. Because I know I know this personally, like, when I go to work, I'd be like, ugh. But when I'm doing stuff for my clients, I do exactly what I do at work for my clients, right? Yeah. When I'm like working on my clients, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so ecstatic about this. So I can imagine that. And I don't know, maybe it's a different feeling, but I can imagine maybe you have a different feeling about this, but I can imagine getting up and not having so much challenge with yourself about getting out of the bed and doing work and starting your day off the way that it needs to be started off. Well,
it's not a challenge. It's not a challenge getting up, because I get up and I do the things that I love. Mm-hmm. And when you're doing it, the saying goes, if you do the things that you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm doing what I love, so it's not work to me. It's more than a hobby, but it's less than work. It's just simply what I do, and it flows, and I flow in it effortlessly. It's not and I know earlier I said that my business became a burden, but it became a burden because I wasn't effectively hearing potential clients. I wasn't discerning those who are ready and those who weren't. So when I brought them on, this is a sidebar. Let me tell you, when I was working 9 to 5, I guess I wasn't hearing them because I did it for the money.
The money. Ooh.
I did it. I was making like $60,000 for a utility company. So I was doing pretty well.
Right.
I was still just taking clients for the money. But what's so crazy is that going into full-time, I'm not taking you for the money. I still need to maintain my peace and my sanity. Right. I still need to maintain my happiness in the fact that I'm doing this full time. And so I cannot bring on anybody to work with. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But
no, that's good. That's real good. I personally went through this series of developing an onboarding process, right? Mm-hmm. As a self-starter, it's kind of like weed out certain clientele that wasn't for me, because just jumping on any and everything was wasting time.
Absolutely.
And so as a self-starter, I believe that you have to be conscious of, which is why I asked you, in the game earlier, is because I feel like you have to be time is of the essence, but you have to be conscious of the time that you are spending. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And sometimes but also with the 9 to 5, you were saying that it became a burden for your business.
Yeah.
But now this is a different type of burden you're bearing, right?
Yes, it is. Very different.
Very different. Okay. So let me ask you, okay. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I feel like we went through that. You're real good, because most of the time, it's just very interesting. Sometimes you have a checklist of questions that you want to ask somebody, and they answer it already. So
that was my 8th question.
That was my 8th question, right? And so Ebony, okay. So self-starter time.
Yeah.
What
Time
what
is of the essence, definitely.
what have you like? What regimens have you developed that you use consistently to make sure you're staying ahead?
Ooh, so after church on Sundays, I come home, cook dinner, and while I'm cooking dinner, I'm planning out the rest of my week. I
Mm-hmm.
know. Okay, so let me back up one moment. I have set business hours to keep myself from burning out because I had a bad burnout in 2020, and from September 2020 to January 2021, I was burnt out. I did nothing for my business, and I knew I lost clients in that time frame because people would they would email me, "Can I get an appointment? I'm not taking any more appointments in this October. Can I get your appointment schedule is blocked? Yeah, no, I'm not taking any more till January." And I wouldn't hear from anybody. And I
Mm-hmm.
just it was bad. So to keep me from burning out, I set business hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fridays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 to 12. Sundays, I don't work at all. But I do plan out my week. So I take a look at everything I need to do and I just use my calendar and I mark it out. And because I like, again, I like checklists. So I like to check off stuff that I've accomplished. And that's what I do. So on Sundays, that's what I spend my day doing. I also look up content that I can share on social media with my followers. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
it all. So if I come up with an idea, I'm like, I wonder about this. I'll Google this question about publishing and I'll look at all these different articles, read some stuff, formulate my own idea. Bam.
Right.
There you go. And then so I'll do that. So that's me being a self-starter. I got to start my week on Sunday. My week does not start on Monday because Monday is a business day for me. Um being a self-starter, things that part of my regimen is I take client calls on specific days, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And my clients know this. When I bring them on as clients, I show them I have an online workspace, and that online workspace we go through everything, and I show them this is your calendar link. You can book as if you need to talk to me, twice a week. You go ahead and book those appointments. You got me twice a week. But these are my operating hours. So if you text me or call me outside of those hours, no, Ebony Nicole, coach is not going to respond until her business hours. And for some of them, it's hard because they be up at like 5 in the morning. And when I get up, I'll see I got some couple of text messages. Oh no, it's not. It's 8:10. I'm not responding. I got another 40 minutes before I respond to this person.
Right.
And so it be, it is that way. Part of my regimen as well is looking at what I did not accomplish last week that needs to be accomplished this week. And so that is well part of it. But my goal is always, if I got 10 things on my list, if I want to get at least half of it done because I don't want to continuously roll it over.
Right.
Things I can pass on to my I have a virtual assistant. Some stuff I can pass on to her, but then there are other things that my hands have to be involved in. So there it goes. But for the most part, it's setting up my schedule for the week and adhering to it. I hate when I get calls from family and friends and they ask me, "What are you doing?"
I'm working.
You busy? It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm always busy. So I like, or my mom, God bless her soul and her heart. She go, well, if you're not busy tomorrow at 10, I'm busy, mom. What do you want? Oh, I want to, okay, now I got to do, okay, I'll bring you my car tonight. And then you just go tomorrow and do what you got to do because she doesn't have a car yet. Hopefully one day
Okay.
soon I'll be able to buy her a car. That's one of the things I want to do, buy her a home and a car. So if she needs my car the next day, I'll bring her my car that evening and then she can go do whatever she wants. And then she'll call me when she's done and to bring my vehicle. But I'm always busy. There was an audio on TikTok that goes, I'm always busy. When I'm not busy, I'm sleeping so I can prepare for the next day. Something of that nature it went. And I was like, it bugs me. You busy? Or what are you doing? Working. You busy?
Working.
Always. It's, you know, yeah, part of my regimen is setting those business hours, sticking to what my goals and things I have to do for that day, and making sure I get it done. And then breathing and not being overwhelmed. I don't want to be overwhelmed, because I'll be overwhelmed, I'll give up and I won't do it anymore.
Right. That's true. That's
Mhm.
true. So creating a schedule is important. Mapping out what your week is going to look like is important.
Mhm.
Accepting the right phone calls and the right time. Like you have to picture, and that's something that I'm going to have to learn because people call me and I just be like, all right, just upload the documents, da-da-da-da, and then I'll get back to you.
No, yeah, it's just
But like,
I'll call you back.
yeah, like my friend one time we were out, he was like, yo, do you ever stop working? I said, No, I don't."
You have to, but some people are okay with, and it's all about you, and not just you specifically, but you as a general statement. It's all about you
Yeah,
assessing what how much you can put out to receive what it is you're looking for.
right.
And I would say this, uh, as a believer in Christ, God never said to. He said, "Walk by faith. Faith without works is
Works
dead."
is dead, right.
But he never said grind. He never said hustle.
Mm.
He does say rest, go to sleep.
Yes, he does say
So
that.
people doing the vamping, vamping, I think that's call it, on they're up all night. I cannot do
Mhm.
that because I get foggy, and I'll, I will not be effective. Um, and by faith, am I doing these things every day? These different tasks that I have to accomplish every day. I don't hustle. I don't grind, because grinding, if you think about with anything that grinds, it needs to be broken down. It's no longer what it looks like before the grinding occurred. And
That is
so I
true.
I understand the concept of grinding, where you don't want to look the same once you begin to grind, but you don't want to be broken down either.
Mhm.
But at the
So
same,
another
on the other side of that, when you break something down, you get something out of it. So, like with olives, when you're pressing olives, now you got
right.
oil.
You got
But
oil.
you got to be careful of what that pressing and that grinding is going to
Grinding,
produce. If it's
look,
going to burn you out, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. That's just my
right. No, 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 no. I definitely agree with you. There's that dual side. I guess
opinion.
it's more about what you're doing that's
Yeah.
going to produce the result,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
With the oil, with the olives, you're producing oil, but when something is being grind down, it's losing some of its effectiveness,
Yes.
right?
Very.
Like when you think about tread tires on your car, like
Yeah.
the more you drive, the more them treads gonna disappear. And if you
Break
drive like
too.
me,
I got to get new brakes. So I have a Honda Accord. I do new brakes, and I already know when I take it to Honda, I already know I'm expecting a mid $500 to get them repaired. But I pray, if you go too long, you're gonna grind them, and next thing you know, you're gonna get into your rotors, and the rotors are, I don't even know how much those are. So I don't ever
definitely
want to
expensive.
find out how
You
much
don't
those
want
are.
to.
So you have to get those repaired. So like you said, you got, it depends on what you're grinding for
Mhm.
and what results it will produce. Because I want to enjoy this journey, which is why I do have
Right.
business hours. And I want to enjoy this journey. I want to still enjoy my family and friends and dating and things like that. And it's not just working all day and to the
Mhm.
night, and years pass by and I missed everything. No, I want to enjoy this journey.
And that's why it's so important. I know you mentioned earlier about being a self starter is you break things down into to a puzzle, into
Yeah.
different elements. You know, like this is what I'm going to get accomplished. This is what I'm going to get accomplished. Like if you try to take it all on at one time, you're going to overwhelm yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And because it's, you can only hold but so much. You can only
Hmm.
hold but so much. And that's where and this is not what I learned in my journey as an entrepreneur when it comes to multiple streams of income. Make sure one stream is sufficient before you start another one. Because then you'll wear yourself out thin and you got all of these different streams, but none of them are flowing.
Flowing.
They're like
Wow.
trickling in. So when it comes to creating a business, make sure it is streaming. Make sure it's going. No, nothing is in its way, is producing as it should. If you have products that are referred to as evergreen, which means they are products that you create one time and you put it on your website, on a selling platform or whatever,
Right.
and sell it. Okay. So that's where my writing course is. I created all these different videos from free webinars, and I follow her name is King Ashley Ann. She's she is phenomenal too. She's a marketing expert, one of the most sought after in this country. And so what I purchased one of her programs, and what I noticed is that she was taking her Instagram lives and creating courses.
Wow.
I was like, what? So I look back at all of my free writing courses, and I don't remember how long it had taken me to do this, but I had looked through all, watched them, and I chopped up the videos and I picked out the best parts of everything, and I created my course, put it on a platform, and there I go. That's my evergreen.
Wow.
Simply by purchasing her product, I saw how she did it, and I'm like, but I didn't purchase her program to see how she did her program. I had purchased it to learn something, which I actually did, to learn from her. But then I noticed the behind the scenes of how she, it was so, I was like, I'm really trying to create come up with content, I already have it.
Wow.
I already have it. So, and I'll say this, whatever it is that you want to do, it's already in you. You just have to cultivate it. That means dig, nurture, pull it up, get a gardener that can get it out of you and help you with your business. And if you have multiple business ideas, let them stream first. Let that first one stream, take the money from that and start the second one. That's where you get the ready, set, wait, go. Because that wait, it's not time for that second business yet, because that first one isn't flowing. Let that evergreen work. Let that evergreen do what it does. Let your clients come in consistently. Let your products fly off the shelf if hopefully they will. And then you can start that second business. Then you can go with that second business.
You're making so much sense with this evergreen conversation. I think that, like, when you look at investors, most investors started off probably employed by somebody, right? And then they garnered the skills that they needed, right, in order to start making their own investments. Or maybe they just like, look, I'm going to go start my own business. And so they went and started their own business based off of what they learned in their career prior, because at this point they became niched, right?
Yeah.
And so now they can offer their services to whoever, specified people, right, that needs their services. And so they work that business, and then after that, a lot of investors, what they do is they invest in other ideas or they invest in other businesses. But like, sometimes you got to work one idea first before you get on to the next one, is what I'm
Yes.
hearing you saying. And I think that is it's very, really, really, really important, because you'll find yourself over here, over here, over here. And so it's going to be hard to be the self-starter that you need to be, because you just needed to start on this point and ready, set, wait. You needed to wait before you go to that other product. But if you look at some of the was it like the multi-conglomerate companies like Elon Musk and them? Oh wait, Amazon, the guy from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Matter of fact, let me step back. You ever watch Shark Tank? I love
I
that show.
have. Yes.
Okay. So my favorite shark, you probably gonna be surprised, is Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful? What was
That's the
that?
bald-headed guy. He was
I don't remember him.
you
I
don't
watched
remember?
it a few times, but not like a huge
Yeah.
fan of it. But I
No,
have
he's
watched it a few times.
okay. So Mr. Wonderful is the bald-headed white guy on Shark Tank. but
Mm-hmm.
he's very shrewd. Like he's probably like the rude one on there. But I
Mm-hmm.
read a book by him some years ago. He started his company, I believe it was a toy company, but where you see where he is now, he's invested in other companies, in
Yeah.
other ventures and stuff like that. Because now, one, he was able to make money off of the company he made, able to create jobs, right? And have people work for him to do the
Mm-hmm.
work that he used to do,
Yep.
right? And so now his hands are free to go invest this money. And
Exactly.
so, and I think, with the different streams of income and different streams of income, you're able to, how can I say, you're able to create more when you have time.
Yes.
When you have more time, you can create more wealth with more time. But when your
Mm-hmm.
time is limited, you need to be able to figure out how to make more money in that time so that you can create more freedom so that you get more time so that you can make more money. Am I making sense when I say that?
It
That kind
does
of
because when you build your business, the ideal of any business, and this is why I follow successful people on Instagram. You got to be mindful of what it is you're looking at. So, what I've seen is that they've built these businesses, got them flowing, and then they put other people in place to free up their time. So if they were working their business 16 hours a day, once they got it to where it needed to be, and they could put someone else in, they could put two people, maybe one other person in there or two other people to work those 16 hours. Now they got these 16 hours that are free. Now they can
Mhm.
start another business that's going to make them even more money. So they get this one going. And this one, they maybe 12 hours a day they spend on this
Right.
business. So they hire someone else to work these 12 hours. Now their 12 hours are open again. And they can keep going and going and going. So that's how it is freedom. It brings you time freedom, financial freedom. When you
Financial
have established a business that is not, it's, I want to say self-sufficient, but it doesn't require you to be there all the time.
all the time.
Or it doesn't require you. So you are still involved, of course, as the CEO
Right.
or whatever it is, but it doesn't require you to be there to be hands-on. You don't have to micromanage because you brought people on who you know could do the job. And it's not even um being family or friends that you brought on. It's let me see your resume, let me see your work. This is what you do. Cool. I need you on my team. And this is what I want to see you operate. I want to take you to this business meeting with me because I want to see how you operate in here. And so I think those are aspects that an entrepreneur should have because I cannot wait for the day where I have my virtual assistant, which was
Okay.
absolutely amazing, but I cannot wait till I reach a level of my business where I need to hire additional coaches because then I
Right.
can bring them on because I like talking to my clients. I can hear and I bring them in and then I give them to the respective coaches and then I'm free.
Yep. I like that
That's it.
idea.
That's it. And I only need to be there just to, talk to clients for the first time. Hey, coach. Hey, this is Coach Ebony Nicole. I'm so happy to work with you. Great. So
Mhm.
you're on. You're good. Now let me introduce you to your book coach. This is the man or this is the woman that's gonna help you get through your writing process. And then I'll pop on. We'll do maybe every month, once a month. I'll get on the phone call with you just to see how things are going with you and your coach. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, whatever it is that you need from me as your, I would say, head coach.
Head coach, right?
And the other coaches be like the assistant coaches. Oh, I kind of like
The
that. Your
master
assistant book
coach.
coach. Your assistant book coach. This is your assistant book coach, and then how is
Right.
everything working with them? Just like I'm not even a big football fan, but for some reason, God has given me that analogy. You have the coach, but the coach can't run. How many football players on the team? Like 100?
It's probably like 100.
I don't know. So whoever
I'm not
knows, just
athletic.
make sure y'all write in the comments how many players are on the football team. But we're gonna go with 100.
Right.
So
Go
you
with
got
100.
one man, 100 players. He cannot train all of these players in
Right.
everything. So there are assistant coaches that does running backs, that does wide receivers, that
Mhm.
train the quarterbacks and full backs. I think those are one, two, or whatever. So you got the assistant coaches that work with the field goal kickers or whatever they're called. I apologize. But you got these different assistants. They're all on one accord, which is to get the entire team to the Super Bowl. But they're all working in sync. And when the coach needs to talk to everybody, he goes in the locker room. Hey, we need to huddle up. Let's or not in the locker room, but on the field, like, yo, we need to come talk. We need to talk. We need to have a conversation, make sure everything is going on good. Everything is going good. But he still has an open communication with his players, although there are coaches who are in place to make sure those players are operating at their maximum. So I don't know, that's so weird he gave me that, but yeah.
No, that's actual a great thought. And time is well spent, right?
It is.
So it is time is well spent. I don't want to hold you. I know you got some other obligations, but I do want to say this is that what I've learned from you is, spend your time wisely. Yeah. Don't take on too many tasks at one time. Mm-hmm. Get your evergreen, right?
Yes.
And expansion comes when you begin to, how can I say this? Expansion comes when you're able to allocate work, right? So that you can free up time for yourself, right?
Yes.
And so that's when you're going to need your coaches.
Yes.
Right. Self-starters, you're going to need your coaches. Right. Yep. But in order for you to get to, I guess, the vision, right, you have to do the work in the beginning as a self-starter, and you have to plan. What was it? Plan,
prepare, execute.
Prepare and execute.
Yeah.
So Ebony, before we go, because we can continue to talk, and me. You know me. We've been in Bible study together.
Right.
So, Ebony, is there anything first? Yeah. Is there before we give out your social media handles, is there any parting words that you would like to leave the viewers?
Yes, I would say if you have a business that you would like to start, all the excitement that's going to come up out of that idea, do not allow it to blind you. What I want you to do is really sit down and think about, who do I want? Who do I need? Who do I want to serve as my clients or customers? Because that's how you're going to produce your best marketing, when you know who they are. Everyone, as I tell my clients as authors, everyone is not your ideal reader. You have to figure out who are you writing for and speak to them when you are marketing your book, promoting your book, because they are the ones who are going to listen. So as an entrepreneur, know who you are going after. It's okay that there are 20 eyelash techs. So what? You are different. Offer something different. It could be an experience. It could be the location that's different. It could be a different technique that you have. Offer them something different that will set you apart, okay? Instead of it being all the sea of the same, do something that sets you apart. Also, I would say to hire you a business coach. Hire you someone who is that you see is where you want to be. Now, be mindful when you go to them. There's going to be some financial investments. And if you cannot invest in yourself, then why should anyone else? All right. So be mindful. You will have to make some financial investments beyond just the products that you want to sell, or beyond taking on any classes that you need to be certified in this thing that you want to do. You will have to make some additional financial investments. Be prepared to do that, because the person or persons you go after spent years to learn what it is that you need, and their fees are their fees, and like some people say, the price just went up. So you got to be prepared to do that. I would also suggest a business plan. Even if you can't do a 10-year business plan off the top, do at least a 5-year business plan. And then when you have that 5-year business plan hammered out, do a 1-year business plan based off of what it is that you want to see in 5 years. Take small pieces of it, like that puzzle. You got 1,000 pieces, but take one corner at a time until you get to that full design. So just know entrepreneurship, it's not an overnight success. There are times that you will go through struggles. I'm gonna be honest and transparent right now. Early this year, Coach went through some struggles, but nobody knew because God had me. He kept telling me, all you need to do is trust me. Trust me, daughter. Trust me. And that's what I had to do. And those quiet struggles were loud in my ear, but no one knew. And it's beautiful because even in the midst of what I was going through as an entrepreneur, I haven't lost a beat. I didn't lose a beat at all. And I came out of it, and I'm coming out of it even stronger than when I went in it. So just know that it takes time. Learn what you can learn and apply it. Don't sit on it. Don't just, I spent $200 on this course. Okay, great. Are you implementing what you learned? No, then you just wasted $200. So take it and apply it. And remember, it will not happen overnight. It takes time. People need to trust what it is that you're saying. They need to trust your products. They need to see that other people have trusted you enough. It takes time. Okay. You're building a relationship with people who do not know you. And you have to know that they have to trust you before they give you their money. So those are some things I would suggest and recommend and say to entrepreneurs. This journey is certainly for self-starters. If you aren't a self-starter, you know that you are, and you know that you aren't. But if you are, this is a path that you can take. If you aren't, you can take it, but you better know that if you don't have people in your corner to get you up every morning and keep you encouraged to go, you might give up sooner than later. But I would say to you, anyone who aspires to be an entrepreneur, whether you're an entrepreneur in 9 to 5, let your 9 to 5 pay for your business until you have come to a place where you want to step out. And or if you are actively an entrepreneur, remember, it does not happen overnight. Keep going. Do not stop. I promise you, once you get past this thing, you'll be like, oh my God, I did survive that. Now I am walking in my dreams. I am not walking, but I'm living my dreams. And I'm heading towards a lifestyle that I saw years ago. That's all I got for you guys. I'm Coach Ebony Nicole. I'm going to keep smiling until he come back.
Oh, hey, I'm back. I'm sorry. I want to thank Ebony first and foremost, but before we do that, I'm going to here we go. All right. So Ebony, where can we follow you?
Everywhere. So the easiest thing I tell people to find me is to simply Google Ebony Nicole Smith, and that will bring up tons of information about me. From my LinkedIn page, I gotta work on my LinkedIn. I should have mentioned LinkedIn because I need to work on that. But any podcasts that I have done, any videos, anything else that I've put out there, my website, everything is under my name, Ebony Nicole Smith. That is the best way to find me, and that will link you to everything that you need.
I've also included a little slideshow for you guys to go in and check out her Facebook, her Twitter. You can also send her an email, and also her website's there, and Instagram. And so, Ebony, I want to thank you again for taking the opportunity to be a part of Leverage TV.
Thank you.
And sharing your experience as a self-starter and how you deal with your clients. And we thank you for the education that you provided. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you again. I'm Jamil Cooper, and this is Ebony Nicole Smith. We thank you. You guys have a great day. Peace.
Subscribe to Leverage TV. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.